Hopelessness is not a feeling. I want you to hear that from the very first breath, because almost everything you have been told about it is wrong. Hopelessness is an instruction. It is the most precise command you can give the deeper part of your mind, and that deeper mind obeys it with perfect faithfulness, reproducing in your outer life the exact inner state you feed it, hour after hour. That is why nothing has changed, no matter how hard you tried, no matter how many affirmations you spoke into the mirror. You said the right words while feeling the wrong feeling, and the deeper mind does not hear words. It hears feeling, only feeling. Tonight I will give you one line to say every hour and show you why that line, said the right way, reaches the part of you that actually builds your reality. Not the part that listens, the part that creates. And once you see why it works, you will see why the change does not crawl. It begins the moment the feeling turns. Let me turn that hopelessness over in my hand, because on its underside something is written that almost no one reads. Hopelessness is not vague. Look closely. It is a concentrated feeling of certainty, that nothing will change, that the door is shut, that it is too late, too hard, too far gone for someone like you. That is belief, deep and whole-bodied, the only kind the deeper mind ever answers. You are not a person who cannot believe. You are believing powerfully, in the wrong thing. And the deeper mind, which does not argue and does not judge, answers that belief the way it answers everything. So be it. It closes the doors you feel are closed and lets pass the chances you are certain are not for you. This is not a punishment. It is a law, as steady and impersonal as gravity. And tonight we point that same law in a new direction. So stay with me, even if you have tried affirmations and thrown them away in disgust, because affirmations spoken over a hopeless feeling are just noise, and you were never doing the thing that works. Stay with me even if you have stopped believing anything can help you, because I am not going to ask you to believe. I will ask you to do something small, every hour, and let the doing change the believing. And stay with me even if you have heard the name Joseph Murphy 100 times, and think you already know what he taught. Because this one thing, the line and the exact way to say it, is the piece almost everyone skips. Here is the foundation, and without it the line would be just another phrase you tire of in a week. Beneath the thinking, worrying mind that you call yourself, there is a deeper mind, and it never sleeps. It runs your heart while you rest, and heals a cut without your leave. And it takes whatever you hand it with real feeling, and builds outward into your body, your habits, your circumstances, the chances you notice, and those you walk straight past. It cannot hear your words as words. It knows only one thing, the feeling you are actually living in. This is why a person can say, "I am at peace" 1,000 times and stay in torment. The words ride on the surface while the true feeling underneath is the message that actually goes down and takes root. Your feeling is your prayer, not your words, not your wishes. What you feel while you speak is what you are truly asking for, and what you receive. Now you can see the trap plainly. The hopeless person is not failing to pray. He is praying constantly, perfectly, for exactly what he does not want. He rehearses the unpaid bill before he opens his eyes, replays the rejection, the closed door, the thing that went wrong, and feels it fully, hour after hour. That is the most disciplined prayer there is, and the deeper mind answers with total loyalty. So the goal is not to try harder. You cannot outforce a feeling. Anyone who has tried to command themselves to stop being afraid knows the will is a weak king in the country of feeling. The goal is to interrupt the feeling, gently and often, before it hardens back into the weather of your day. That is why the line must be said not once, not twice, but every hour. Let me explain why the hour matters, because this is the part that makes it work when all else failed you. Hopelessness, by now, is not an occasional visitor. Be honest with me. It has become the air, the background weather of your days. And weather has a property you must understand to change it. It restores itself. Open a window for 15 minutes in the morning, then breathe the old stale air for 16 unbroken hours, and the room is stale again by nightfall. This is why sincere people fail, not for lack of effort in their one good moment, but because of the long, unguarded hours between, where the old feeling rules with 16 hours to your 15 minutes. We reverse that ratio, not by making the practice longer, which no tired person can sustain, but by making the gaps shorter. That is the secret of the hour. A hopeless mood needs unbroken time to close over you. Open the window every hour, even for 90 seconds, and it never fully seals again. You are not fighting the weather. You are refusing to give it the uninterrupted time it needs to become solid. This is not a new idea somebody invented to sell you a course. It is one of the oldest things human beings ever wrote down. 2,000 years ago and longer, teachers said it plainly. It is done unto you as you believe, not as you wish, not as you say, as you believe, in the deep place where feeling lives. This was never locked in a vault. It was left behind, in old books that fewer and fewer stores still carry, passed quietly from one to the next by those who learned to live by it and made no noise about it. And you should ask the fair question, if this is real and this old, why were you never taught it? The answer is honest, and it is not a conspiracy. No one hid it from you. You were sent to school for years, taught to read and count, and never once taught how the inside of your own mind actually works. And modern self-help buried the quiet truth under noise, telling you to think positive, want it more, say it louder, all surface, none of it touching the feeling underneath, where the whole thing is decided. There is very little money in telling a person the cure is a free line said in the dark before sleep, and a great deal in selling them the next course. So the real teaching survived quietly, the way the most useful things do. If even one line here has landed for you, write it in the comments below. Tell me what you have been feeling underneath your own words all this time, if you are willing, because someone else is feeling the exact same thing and will be quietly relieved to see they are not alone. Now stay with me, because I am about to give you the line itself and the exact way to say it so it reaches the deep place and not just the air. Here is the line. Say it with me, quietly, right now, slowly, word by word. Wonders upon wonders are happening in my life now. That is it. And I can feel part of you thinking, that is all? Yes and no. It is all you will say. It is far from all that happens when you say it right. Let me show you why each part sits where it does. First, wonders. Not money, not the rent, not the specific thing you are desperate for. And there is a reason, tied to where you are right now. A hopeless person cannot say the name of the thing they lack without the lack rising up at once to argue. Say I am wealthy, and the empty account answers back before the sentence is finished. But the word wonders makes no claim the mind can contradict. It names no sum and no date. It only says good is on its way, in a form you cannot yet calculate. And even a hopeless heart can allow that much, because everyone has seen life turn unpredictably. It is a door low enough to walk through tonight, in the state you are in. Then, wonders upon wonders. The doubling is not decoration. It turns a single stroke of luck into a climate, a new normal in which good is not a rare visitor, but how things simply go now. Then, are happening. Present tense, not will happen or might happen. Happening now, as you speak, because the deeper mind knows no future. It knows only what is. A future tense sentence plants a future that stays forever out of reach. The present tense lays the good down here, where the deeper mind lives and works. And finally, in my life now. Not out there, not for other people. In mine. This is the hardest, most healing part for the hopeless heart, whose deepest belief is that good comes to others but not to me. Those three words knock, gently and steadily, on that belief until it opens. Now the ritual, because this is where reciting becomes praying. When the hour comes, stop whatever you are doing. 90 seconds can be found in any hour, and if it truly cannot, do it the moment your hands are free, with no guilt. Breathe out first. One long breath. Not in, because the long breath out is the body's own signal of letting go, and with it, the shoulders drop and the guard within you leans back. Then say the line 3 times, slowly. The first time, lay the words down, like a tool onto a bench. The second time, taste it. A little space on the word wonders, a touch of present on now, the quiet enormity on in my life that you are the one meant. The third time, say it as plain fact. in the tone you would use to say the sun's up. Then the part almost everyone skips. Say nothing for 3 or 4 breaths. Let the lines sink like a stone dropped into a well, and listen after it. That small silence is not an afterthought. It is half the practice, because in it the feeling is handed down, and the feeling is the thing. And at night you have a second, deeper opportunity I do not want you to waste. There is a moment every evening when the door between your two minds stands wide open, the drowsy state before sleep, when the thinking mind grows tired and stops guarding the gate. Whatever you feel in those last soft minutes sinks almost unopposed into the deep mind and becomes a seed. Most people fill that hour with the day's worries, planting fear in the richest soil they own. You are going to plant the line instead. As the body grows heavy, do not just say it 3 times and stop. Let it circle, softer and slower, like a lullaby you follow down into sleep. Wonders upon wonders are happening in my life now. Let it warm you, and fall asleep somewhere inside it. What you carry across the threshold of sleep, the deep mind works on all night, undisturbed. You can turn every night into a workshop where your new life is quietly built while you rest. And you may ask, what if I say it and feel nothing? What if the words stay hollow and the old heaviness will not budge? Then you are not a hopeless case. You are a beginner, and every beginner starts there. Do not demand a warm rush from every hour. If 2 or 3 times in a day something in you softens for a single breath, that is the day's real seed. The other repetitions were the plowing that made the soil ready. Say it in the empty hours too, calmly, because the feeling comes to the one who stops yanking at it. And when the old sneering voice answers, wonders, for you, do not fight it, because a voice you fight only grows louder. Nod to it like an old acquaintance who tells the same story, and say the line once more anyway. Over the weeks it goes quiet, not because you defeated it, but because you stopped answering it. And a voice no one answers loses interest in speaking. And do not dig for results. Do not check your life every hour to see if it is working yet, because checking is itself the feeling of not yet. Plant it again and again. Say the line, and let the ground do its quiet work. Let me tell you what happened to the woman I mentioned, because her turn shows the whole thing at work, and there is nothing in it you cannot check. When she saw that her feeling had been her real prayer all along, she stopped her mirror affirmations, which had only made her feel the gap. Instead, she took the line and said it every hour, and each night fell asleep circling it until it took her under. For a while, nothing outward moved, and she nearly quit, the way people almost always nearly quit right before it turns. But something in her was changing before her circumstances were. The edge left her voice. She stopped bracing when she opened her mail. She began, without deciding to move through her days like a woman expecting good, not dreading worse. And within a couple of months, the outer world answered the way it answers everyone who makes this shift, not with a miracle from the sky, but through ordinary doors. An old connection resurfaced. Work she would once have talked herself out of came to her, because she no longer carried despair into the room. Every link was explainable in hindsight. What could not be explained was why the chain formed in exactly the weeks she stopped feeling hopeless and began to feel wonders were coming. She called it luck. I called it the oldest law there is. And notice, so you never feel cheated by the word, the change did not wait for the outer proof. It began the hour her feeling turned. That is the only sense in which any of this is instant. The building starts the moment the feeling changes. How soon you see it, you leave to the wisdom that knows the way. So let me leave you with the heart of it. You were never being punished, and nothing was ever wrong with you. You were praying with your feeling, faithfully, for the thing you feared, because no one ever showed you the feeling was the prayer. Now you know it. Wonders upon wonders are happening in your life now. If you are the kind of person who has always sensed that the real cause of your struggle was quieter and deeper than your effort, then you already understand what happened here. It was never lost, only waiting for someone tired enough of the old weather to open the window each hour and let something new in. Before you go, do something for me in the comments. Tell me which city you are watching from today, and whether something here quietly clicked, whether you felt even a small turn from the heaviness towards something lighter. And read a few of the other comments while you are there, because you will find people who sound exactly like you did an hour ago, and it helps more than you would think. If this gave you something real, not just passed the time but actually gave you something, then feel free to like it and subscribe, and only for that reason. Not because I need the number, but because if these words meant something, this is how you find your way back to the next ones. And there is a next one waiting on the screen right now. What I will show you there goes deeper than what we did tonight, into the part that ties it together, the piece most people never reach. Knowledge like this has a way of not staying in easy reach forever, so while it is here in front of you, go on and let it show you the rest.